Hello and welcome to the 30k channel, a channel dedicated to games set in the HORUS HERESY. I'm your host, David Brains, and we're back. Nick, Jamie, part 3 of your mini-game series.
Finally.
Really looking forward to this. It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, yeah.
How long? 2-3 months, perhaps?
4, I think.
Maybe 4,
yeah. It has been a long time.
Yeah. You've been busily painting and modelling, haven't you?
We have, yeah.
To get this ready for you guys at home today. So the guys have put in some fantastic work. So thank you very much. I think, Nick, you've been a bit distracted by 40k as well, haven't you?
Yeah, 8th has definitely distracted me completely.
Yeah.
Death Guard is where it's at.
You're amassing forces quite rapidly, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Looking forward to seeing those on the tabletop. And Jamie, what have you been up to?
Not as much as Nick.
No, well, I think that's impossible.
Yeah, Nick's been smashing it. I think I've just been doing little side projects and little bits and little rule of cool stuff more than.
Yeah, you've done a couple of servo skulls recently, and
yeah, I built my own servo skulls because I managed to lose the 4-12 ones I had. I don't know where they've gone. I've built some little props for Shadow War.
Yeah,
I've done some more Inquisitor 28 stuff. I've really just done little projects and added to the army, and that was it. Really, I've not really done anything big apart from the night.
Oh yeah, you've done a night.
Oh yeah, done a night as well.
We might get you for a larger game soonish. I think we've got someone lined up for you, haven't we?
I might have a few more nights for that.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, oh no. Oh, well, that's good. Right, so game 3 then, here we are. We've gone for a little bit different one. So we have changed the narrative ever so slightly from what we played last, but I think it's still a great narrative. The Imperial Fist accessed some terminals or some consoles in the previous game, didn't you?
Yep.
And from that, you've managed to gather a lot of information, and you've realised that there's a surveillance Marauder bomber in this Mechanicum hangar, haven't you?
Yeah.
And there's some prisoners that you're going to try and free.
Yeah, there's an astropath and a couple of officers.
Yeah, that were on
lurking,
board.
and they've got lots of information that we want.
Yeah,
we want to know what they know,
and we don't want to leave it into the Mechanicum's hands. So what we've got is Nick's really lovely Marauder bomber in the centre of the board, being worked on by the Mechanicum, trying to extract all of the bits and bobs and pulling it apart.
Yep.
Jamie will be defending that in the centre of the board, along with an astropath.
Yep.
And then Nick will have pretty much free reign of the whole board. The fists will be able to outflank and have moved around the Mechanicum, and there's a corridor with some cells in with 2 staff members, I guess, or crew.
Yeah.
And the objective is that all 3 of the prisoners are relic type missions. The astropath is worth 3 points. The 2 crew are worth 1 each.
Yep.
Depending on who controls them at the end of the game. We've got kill points, slay the warlord, and first blood. Nice and simple, eh?
Nice and simple.
Easy. And in a bit of a twist as well, the Imperial Fists are now the attackers and the Mechanicum are now the defenders, aren't they?
Yeah.
Great stuff. And stratagem-wise, defender, what have you chosen?
I've chosen a Fire Wasp because I made one. I thought it was cool. I wanted to make one because it looked cool, so I've made one of them. And I've kept the booby traps from the last game because, again, I wanted to make some little tokens, some little blast markers.
They work quite well for you, though.
They were quite cool as well. They were quite fluffy.
Blew up a load of breaches.
Yeah.
I think none of them worked, and then one just went bang. Killed
It was good. And Nick, what have you chosen?
I've gone for the outflank stratagem,
yes.
And I'm running that with the Seekers, and then the Heavy Flamers are going to use the breaching charge, one that essentially allows them to come on from a point.
So we've got a little Jamie's modelled little thing for us. I'll give you a closer picture of that, but it's essentially I know it's a door, but it's it's kind of an access way. Yeah, absolutely. And potentially those Seekers can come on the deployment zone of the Mechanicum as well.
Yeah, they can. Yeah.
So they're going to try and fight their way to the back and then come forward and try and capture the astropath. I think it's quite an exciting mission.
Yeah, it's good fun.
This is the last one. And just remind the viewers at home, what new models have you brought for this game? Jamie, what have you been working on?
I've got a lot more Phalanx because they can take the Void Hardened Armour, and because they're so fast. And I've started to go towards a Reductor sort of list. So I've taken a lot more Phalanx. Again, I've built the little servo skulls for my Ordo Reductor Magos. And I've got some Myrmidons in there as well. And I've backed off on the Castellax a little bit because they're not really that powerful in zone with Cold of the Void, but hopefully with the Volkite Culverins, or calibers, with the rend in it'll be very good.
Yeah, some really high strength, high capacity shots, isn't there?
Yeah.
Nick, what have you brought us?
So I've added in a squad of Seekers, basics, 5 squad of Seekers, and a squad of 5 Terminators with the Storm Shields and Fists. So
great stuff. We're looking forward to seeing all that.
More punch.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And a bit more protection on the old shield. Now, what are the rules surrounding...
so it's a 3-up invuln.
Yeah.
So nothing different to a normal
So because they can't... Can they be Cataphractii and carry shields? They're not...
They have to be Cataphractii. They can't be Tartarus.
Okay.
There's been emails from Forge World. Apparently people still deny the fact that there's been emails from Forge World. I don't know why. It's Cataphractii or Indominus. The very basic Terminator armour as well. But you can't have them on Tartarus.
Correct. They'd be awesome on Tartarus.
Yes, because it would make all the difference.
Oh man, it's so powerful. Okay, so they're the rules that we're using today for Cataphractii. There is a bit of controversy about this. Jamie, myself, and Nick, we're all happy about it. So that's what we're using. So hopefully it doesn't upset too many people.
Depends how the game goes.
We'll find out. We will now go to lists, and then we'll see you at the beginning of turn 1. See you very soon.
5th 200 point Zone Mortalis Defenders list using the Ordo Reductor Mechanicum. HQ is an Archmagos Reductor on an Abeyant with a master-crafted power axe. He has a Machinator array. He has a Cyber Familiar, Dejink Sight, Rad Grenades, 1 Phosphex Bomb, 3 Cyber Onoculus, and an Erad Cleanser. Second HQ choice is a Magos Dominus, master-crafted weapon. He has a Machinator array, Power Axe, and a Cyber Familiar. And he's going to be attached to 2 Castellax Battle Automata with Power Blades, 2 Flamers, and Multi-Melters. For my other troops, I have 2 units of Phalanx are identical, 5 Phalanx in each, 1 Phase Plasma Fusel, and they have the Icarian upgrade, so they've got the Void Hardened Armour. I'm not going to Deep Strike because it's not what I want to do. And then I have a unit of 10 Frowls, and those are pretty much fully upgraded. They have the Carapace Armour, the Induction Charges, the Rite of Revenant Alchemy, and the Rite of Pure Thought. And for the single heavy support choice, I have a unit of Myrmidon Destructors, and they're all armed with Volkite Culverins.
This is 1500 points of Imperial Fists, led by a Delegatus running the Stone Gauntlet Rite of War, using the Zone Mortalis Combatant Force Org chart. HQ slot is a Delegatus with Artificer Armour, Boarding Shield, Power Axe, and Melter Bombs. Elite's choice, I have 2 Apothecaries armed with Artificer Armour. Second Elite's choice is a squad of Legion Terminators in Cataphractii Armour, 4 Terminators of Power Fist and Storm Shield, and the Sergeant has a Thunderhammer and Storm Shield. For the troops, I have 2 Legion Breacher squads armed with 2 Melter Guns. The Sergeant has Artificer Armour and Power Fist, and each squad also has a Vexilla. The third troop choice is a Legion Tactical Squad. Sergeant has a Power Axe and Artificer Armour, and there's also a Vexilla. Fast attack choice, I have a 5-man Legion Seeker squad armed with their specialist ammunition and no other upgrades. Finally, for my heavy support choice, I have a Legion Heavy Support squad with Heavy Flamers. The Sergeant has Melter Bombs.
Gents, we're deployed and ready to go. Imperial Fists versus Mechanicum. We've got a lovely board set up for you guys today. Nick, you're going first, is that right?
That is correct, yes.
Excellent. And just to remind everyone, you've deployed pretty much 18 inches all the way around the board, and you've kind of penned the Mechanicum in, haven't you?
Yeah, I've formed formed a circle. Hopefully, we're going to close it.
Good.
Crush them.
And you've given the Mechanicum a few choices about where they're going to deploy and where they're going to engage on you, haven't you? So
yeah, trying to come at them from all sides, as it were.
Good stuff. Jamie, you reckon you're going to repel the Imperial Fists?
I don't know yet. I've got to see. If I seize, it'll help me a lot, but he's still got to get through the doors to me.
This is very true, yeah. Don't forget, all the doors are locked to the Imperial Fist, so either Mechanicum got to open the doors from the other side, or the Imperial Fists are going to blow them up to get through. So we'll see what happens. Nick, Imperial Fist, you're going first.
Correct.
But Jamie, you want to seize, is that right?
I do indeed.
Okay, let's get on with it. Friendly handshake, please, gents. All right, let's get on with the seize.
Right.
Oh, it's a 2. Imperial Fist, turn 1.
Excellent.
Oh.
Imperial Fist, turn 1 movement phase. My interdiction assault stratagem has come into play, and I've managed to put a breach in the middle of the hangar there, ready for my heavy flamer teams to come through at some point. The Terminators have moved forward and are going to assault the door to breach it. The breacher squad have skirted round the booby traps, having learnt my lesson from last time where I lost like 5 or 6 guys in one blast, and we're going to shoot the door to breach it. On the other side, my tactical squad are doing the same thing, but they're going to have to charge and melt bomb the door to get through it, and the other breacher squad exactly the same, but avoiding the Castellax a little bit more. Imperial Fist shooting phase, turn 1. The breacher squad is going to melter gun the door. So I've got 2 melter guns in there, and they're hitting on 3s. So it's both hit. And then it's 2d6 plus 8 for the armor penetration. So the first one, that's a pen. So the door is destroyed. Same again, the breacher squad on the right flank are going to breach the small door on the left with 2 melter guns. So again, hitting on 3s. It's 2 hits. Armor penetration on the first one. It's another pen, so the small door has been destroyed.
One thing we forgot is after the movement phase, the booby traps are supposed to go off. So we just went back after the shooting phase. We rolled for the bombs. Most of them didn't go off, but they stayed in play. But then one of them didn't go off and was a dud, so we removed it.
Imperial Fist assault phase. The Terminators charged in, smashed the door to smithereens on the right-hand flank here. And then on the left flank, the tac squad moved forward and the sergeant placed a melter bomb, destroying that door. Unfortunately, now we've just got to have to brace for the impact of the Mechanicum shooting and just hope we can hold our ground for one more turn.
Mechanicum turn 1 movement. Magos has moved up, ready to take on the Terminators. The Frowls have moved forward and away from the Flamers and try and bog down that breacher squad the way they do. The Myrmidons are ready where they are. They've not really moved them, so they can shoot through the Frowls to give the Myrmidons the breachers a bit of a go. I've moved my Phalanx away from the heavy flamers, but they're still within range of the servo skulls because they get intercept. So when the nasty little flamers come through, they can get a little taste of their own medicine. The little flying flamer bot for the stratagem has moved up to the door a little bit, trying to stay away from the booby trap. And my Castellax, I've gone through the door. And I'm going to go give the breaches a bit of what for, but unfortunately they're going to trigger off that bomb. So we'll see what happens. The bomb exploded as the Castellax went through. Didn't do anything to the Castellax. Managed to cause a wound on the breacher squad, but Nick happily saved it with his feel no pains. Mechanicum turn 1 shooting. The Castellax gone with their strength 4 flamers. You've got 23 hits. The toughness of the breaches is 5. Because of the stone gauntlet. I do have shred and I do have rending as well because of the cold of the void. So far I have 5 rends and 3 normal wounds. So I'm going to roll the rest with my shred.
The Mechanicum caused 14 wounds in total, 5 of which were rending. However, because of the breacher's void hardened armour, the rending is nullified. So I've got 14 wounds to save. I've got 5 guys before I get back to my sergeant with artificer armour, so I'm going to roll these. So it's 3 up save, but I get a reroll because it's template weapon, and void hardened armour gives you a reroll for that. So it's 2 go through, but with a reroll. So they're all fine. And then 5 again. 3s with a reroll. Fine again. And then the last 4. 5s with a reroll. Oh, everything's saved.
So the Castellax now are going to put in their multi-melters. They've got 2 of them. They're hitting on 4s and they are wounding on 2s. 2 hits. 2 wounds.
And this goes straight through my void hardened armour, so I've only got my boarding shield 6 up in Vun. Both failed. There's no feel, no pain from that either.
The Magos Dominus is going to forego his shooting and he's going to do a cyberphagy test, which is the write-off celerity, which gives one of the Castellax +2 initiative, which will put him to initiative 5. It is a leadership test with no modifiers, and I'm leadership 9. Passed. The Phalanx have shot at the same breacher squad, and they've put in 4 lightning guns, which killed 1 of them. And then you have a Phasmophase Fusel, which has fired 3 shots and killed 2. Archmagos is shooting phase, so what he's done is he's opened the door beforehand in the movement, and he's chucked in a Phosphex bomb as a little bit of a surprise. On my rolls to wound, only 2 wounded on freeze, and then the Imperial Fist saved every single one on their invuns. Combined fire from the Myrmidons and the Frowls have managed to kill 2 breachers. Not much for that much volume of shooting, but it's a good start. It'll do for now. So all in all, for my shooting phase, it wasn't that great apart from the 1 breacher squad. It's just the void hardened armour just keeps stopping those rending hits. Mechanicum assault phase turn 1. The Castellax have charged the breaches. The breaches have failed their reactionary fire test. And have caused no wounds, nothing on the Castellax. The Hammer of Wrath didn't do anything, so I've then charged in, I've gone in, and I've issued a challenge with my Magos Dominus, which has been accepted by the Imperial Fist Sergeant. Because of the past cyberphagy test, one of the Castellax is striking initiative 5. It has 5 attacks on the charge because of its power blades, and now strength 6 and AP 2. So the 5 attacks will be hitting on freeze and wounding on freeze. So that is 2 hits and no wounds. That's unbelievable. That is unbelievable.
That's very lucky, isn't it? The Breacher squad have retaliated as they're fighting at initiative step 4 and managed to do a single wound to the Castellax.
So initiative 3, my other Castellax gets to attack. So it has 3 attacks because obviously the rage is negated because of the shields. 4's to hit and then 3's to wound. So 2 hits. 2 wounds.
And these cut straight through the armour, so it's down to the 5 up in Vun from the boarding shield. So I make 1, and then feel no pain. Saves.
Going into the challenge at initiative step 1, because I have a power axe on my Magos Dominus, and the Sergeant has a power fist, I have 3 attacks, because I can't get the +1 for charging because of the shields. I am hitting on 4s and wounding on 2s. For the first 3, so 1 hit, and 1 wound. So it is a invulnerable save.
So straight through to 5 up in Vun. Straight through to 5 up in Vun, which failed, and then 5 up feel no pain. No, Sergeant is dead.
So then the 2 Machinator array attacks then roll over out of the challenge. They are the same power, strength, and to hit as an axe. So I'm looking at 4s to hit and 2s to wound, but I do get shred. So 2 attacks, both hit. And that is 2 wounds. So 2 more AP2s. Just recapping, because of the Stone Gauntlet, we keep forgetting, it's +1 to their toughness, so I need 3s on the Machinator array, not 2s. So one of them wounded anyway, but the other one is a reroll because of shred. So it's still not. So it's just the 1 AP2 flowing over from the challenge.
So 5 up in Vun from boarding shield, and then 5 up feel no pain.
So that's another guide on.
Another guide on.
Much better than the Castellax.
So the Imperial Fist lost the combat by 1. And I've got leadership 8 on the Apothecary, and I've got Vexilla for a reroll. So look for 7. They're fine.
Overview of Mechanicum turn 1. Not as brilliant as I was hoping for. I was hoping the Phosphex would kind of deal with the Terminators a bit, and I'd probably do a few more wounds on that Breacher with the sheer volume of fire from the Frowls and the Myrmidons. The combat with the Castellax and the Breachers on the other side went alright, but I was hoping to wipe the squad, if I'm honest, and then bring the Castellax back in for later on. So I have to see what next turn does. Hopefully his reserves might flail it. They might not come in this turn, so I can probably clean up and then get back into the centre.
Imperial Fist turn 2 movement phase. The Terminators have pushed forward through the Phosphex. Didn't lose anyone to the dangerous terrain, which was quite fortunate. They're now just an inch away from the Magos. Going to smash him in combat. The Breacher squad have pushed forward, and they're going to be pushing a charge onto the Tech Thralls. The Tactical squad have moved through the door. Fortunately, there was 2 booby traps they were in range of, and neither of them went off, and they were both removed from play as duds. So you can't get much luckier than that. But they're going to put a charge in towards the Fire Wasp or the door and try and breach over there. Then the Breacher squad, obviously, here is locked up with the Castellax. Hopefully, if this goes well, we'll be putting a major dent into the Mechanicum and onto securing the hangar. Imperial Fist turn 2 movement phase. Unfortunately, my reserve did not come on, neither the Heavy Flamers nor the Seekers, which has really put a limit to the amount of firepower I'm going to be able to bring this turn. Imperial Fist turn 2 shooting phase. I was going to fire the Tactical squad at the Fire Wasp. Unfortunately, I thought about it, and if I killed it with the shooting, I wouldn't be able to get the extra movement from charging. So I'm going to do that instead. The Breacher squad are going to fire into the Tech Thralls. We've got 7 bolt shots because I'm firing bolt pistols because I want to make sure I get the charge if I don't kill them. They're hitting on 2s because of Imperial Fists special rule, so I'm hitting on 2s and then wounding on 3s. So 1 miss. And 3s, that's 4 wounds.
So I get a 4-up carapace armor save because I paid the points, and I also get a 6-up. But on one of those, because it's rending, I obviously won't get my normal carapace save. So 3 of them on the carapace. Oh, so I'll need the feel no pains. So now I'll just roll 4 feel no pains together because one of them was rending. So that is 3 Thralls gone.
And then I've got 2 melter guns from the squad as well. Both miss. Brilliant.
Brilliant for me.
Imperial Fist turn 2 shooting overview. Killed a few Thralls. Unfortunately, the melter guns missed, but I'm going to be charging into them anyway. Tac squad obviously decided not to shoot. Terminators have got no ranged weapons, so we're going straight into the assault phase. Imperial Fist turn 2 assault phase. The tactical squad moved in and destroyed the Fire Wasp, taking 1 casualty in return. So that's good, and they've consolidated an inch forward, slow as they like. The combat with the Castellax and the Breachers, the Breachers couldn't hold out against the Dominus's power axe. He just cut through them, killing off the entire squad. The Imperial Fist Terminators charging against the Magos. Everyone's fighting initiative step 1 because everyone's got Power Fist or a Power Axe. I charged through the Phosphex with 2 guys, and they fortunately survived the dangerous terrain. My sergeant has to issue a challenge, being Imperial Fists, but it does mean I get to re-roll 1s in combat in the challenge. So he's going to strike first with his Thunderhammer. So he's hitting on 4s with a re-roll of 1s, no hits. And then the 4 other guys with their Power Fists, also hitting on 4s. That's a bit better. That's a lot of 6s. So that's 5 hits, and then wounding on 2s, which is toughness 6. So that's 5 wounds at AP2.
So I have a 3-up Envin with a 5-up Feel No Pain.
Oh well. Fun while it lasts, isn't it?
And bounce. The Archmagos Reductus attacks back. So he has 3. Well, he's got 2 as standard plus 1 plus close combat weapon and axe. And then he's got 2 machinary arrays. So the 3 attacks that are power axes will go now. So they are going to be 3s to hit and 2s to wound because I have rad grenades. So they are 2 hits and then 2 wounds, AP2.
So straight through to my 3-up Invuln. So 1 dies. So I lost a Terminator. The 1 Terminator that died was the Sergeant in the challenge.
So now the machinary array is going to flow over into the normal Terminators. 2 attacks, and they are going to be on 3s to hit, and they are going to be 2s to wound. So that's 1 hit, and I get shred as well. So that is 1 more AP2 wound.
Which I save on my 3-up Invuln.
Yep.
So I lose combat by 1. Leadership test. They're fine. They love it.
Fine.
Imperial Fist Breacher squad charging into the Thralls. Hammer of Wrath, I got 3 hits, but unfortunately the Thralls passed their Feel No Pains. So I've got 14 attacks from the normal Breachers. Sergeant will be attacking in a minute. So I'm hitting on 3s, being weapon skill 4. That's pretty good. And then I am wounding on 3s. That's not so good. So it's 5 wounds.
So I have a 4 up, and then followed by a 5 up, feel no pain. So then I have 3 that need to be rolled up on the feel no pain. So you've lost 2. Thrall's attacks back at initiative 2. They are hitting on 4s and wounding on 4s. I have 5 attacks. So 2 hit and 1 wound. 1 normal save for the Space Marines.
So it's a 3 up save. Failed, but a 5 up feel no pain. No, so one breacher dies in return.
One goes down.
Then the Sergeant attacks with his 2 attacks, +1 for charging. He doesn't have, because he's got a boarding shield, he doesn't get the +1 for having a bolt pistol as well. So 3 attacks hitting on 4s, 3, sorry. So that's 3 hits, and then crushing Thralls on 2s. That's 3 dead. Imperial Fists turn 2 overview. Unfortunately, it was a good turn, I think, overall. I lost the Breacher squad to the Castellax, which was pretty inevitable. The Magos just carving through them. The tactical squad have destroyed the Fire Wasp, and they're making their play towards the first crewman objective. Hopefully you're going to be able to secure him in my next turn. The reserves not coming on really limited the amount of firepower I could put into the Myrmidons and the Thalax, but yeah, it is what it is. I can't do much about that. The Breacher squad smashing against the Thralls actually worked out the best possible outcome. There's only 2 Thralls left. I'm locked in combat, so I can't get shot this turn. And so they're going to be safe. Terminators did a bit of a whiff. The Sergeant has died, and I did no damage back to the Magos, unfortunately. So, but they're locked up, so they're safe again from shooting.
Mechanicum turn 2 movement phase. The Castellax have moved towards the centre of the board, so they can try and stop some of these reserves when they come on, when and where. My Thalax have opened the door and have moved so they can get some good shots off on those the guys trying to free the prisoners. The same with the second Thalax squad. They've kind of rushed through the door to try and cut them off, stop them from getting to the other prisoner. The Breacher squad, I can't really deal with at the moment. All I've done is move my Myrmidons a little bit further away from that and that hole so they don't get roasted alive or charged next turn. And I'm just ready for the slugfest of a combat with my Archmagos. Turn 2 Mechanicum shooting phase. Not really having much shooting because there's a lot of combat and the reserves haven't dropped yet. So what I've done is I've managed to put both my Thalax squads and get some Castellax shots off into the squad of Space Marines trying to free the prisoners. I've managed to drop quite a few off. But apart from that, I'm hoping to just get some charging with the Thalax, stop them from getting the prisoner, and just pin them and try and kill them. Turn 2 assault phase Mechanicum. Both the Thalax units charged in and got a wound on one of them from overwatching. And then I managed to save all my saves from being attacked by the normal attacks. Managed to take out 3 Marines with a sheer quantity of fire. And then no wounds back onto myself because of my lucky feel no pain rolls of a 6. The combat's a stalemate because the Imperial Fists passed their leadership test. So we're stuck there for another turn. Overview of the Breaches and Thralls, their combat. The last 2 Thralls are wiped out with no attacks back, and the Breaches consolidate into the board, trying to get towards the Astropath so they can get those victory points. Archmagos Reductor fighting off against the Terminators. I'll go first this turn. We go simultaneously initiative 1 because of all the power fists and power axes. I have 3 attacks. They are hitting on 3s and wounding on 2s, and then I have my Machinator array afterwards. So the 3 axe attacks. So that is 2 hits, and they are wounding on 2s. So that is 2 AP2 hits.
So these are straight through to my 3-up Invan, the Storm Shields. Another one dies.
Machinator attacks, 2 attacks. They are hitting on 3s, and they are wounding on 2s, and they are AP2 with Shred. So that is 1 hit, and that is a wound.
Straight through to the 3-up Invan again. That's another one dead.
2 more bite the dust.
But they do get to attack back though, at initiative step 1 because we're all striking simultaneously. So I've got 8 power fist attacks, hitting on 4s. Sorry, that's pretty good, much better than last time. And then wounding on 2s because I'm strength 8 versus toughness 6, and that's 7 wounds there.
So 7 free-ups with a 5-up Feel No Pain. So that is 2 failed invulns, but then I get my Feel No Pain. One of them saved, so he's taken 1 wound.
I lost combat by one wound, so I need to pass the leadership test of 7. They passed.
So the combat carries on into next turn.
Imperial Fist turn 3 movement phase. I've been very lucky, and my reserves have come on. The Seekers have pushed on from the hangar bay. I'm going to put some rounds onto the Castellax. The Heavy Flamer team also came in through their breaching point, and they're going to look to toast those Myrmidons up nicely. The Breachers have pushed forward also to engage the Myrmidons. Everyone else, unfortunately, is locked in combat, so the Terminator squad's still locked with the Magos, and my Tactical squad and my Warlord locked up with the Thalax. Imperial Fist turn 3 shooting phase. The Heavy Flamer team that have popped out of their breaching point have levelled their flamers at the Myrmidons and opened up. Got 11 auto hits with the Heavy Flamers. They're strength 5 with shred and rending because of Cold in the Void. So I'm looking for 4s to wound with the 11 attacks. But with the shred,
You're going to need it.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to need it. So there's 2 rends there. I'll just move them out of the way so we don't lose them.
It's another rend.
That's all wound, but with 3 rends.
So I'll do the 3 rends first if you want.
Yep.
So that's 5 ups. So that is 1 gone straight away. So I only have 2 wounds. And how many was it?
8 left.
And then 8 left. So then 8 free-up saves. And that is 1 unsaved wound. So you have 1 left on 1 wound, and then 1 left on its 4 wounds. So only 1 dies.
The Imperial Fist Breacher squad are now going to open up and try and finish off these Myrmidons. I've got 10 bolt shots from the characters and from the normal breachers. Because I'm Imperial Fists, I'm hitting on 2s. That's pretty good. And then I'm wounding on 5s though because of the toughness. That's 3 wounds, 1 of which is a rend because of Cold in the Void.
So I'll do the rend first and 5 up. So that is the one with the wound gone, and then 2 normal, and then the 2 normals. Oh, that is them gone.
Excellent.
That is them gone. So you now have a clear way to the objective.
After the great success from the Imperial Fist breachers and Heavy Flamers destroying the Myrmidons, the Seekers are going to have a go at the Castellax. The Seekers get to pick a unit to be their preferred enemy that's marked for death. So the Seekers are going to attack in the Castellax, which is their preferred enemy. They're firing their Kraken rounds, which are strength 4, AP 4, rapid fire. So I've got 10 shots, hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s because of preferred enemy, and then wounding on 6s though, re-rolling 1s because of preferred enemy, but the 6s do the rend. So I've got 10 shots, hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s. That's all hit. That's brilliant. But I need those 6s now though. Re-rolling the 1. Nothing.
Oh,
absolutely nothing. Rubbish. Imperial Fist assault phase, turn 3. The Thalax attacked the tactical squad and my Centurion, and I managed to tank all of the wounds on the Artificer armour and managed to do 2 wounds in return to the 2 separate squads. Unfortunately, I didn't make any of them break, which would have been lovely, but you know, it's best result. They're still alive, I suppose. The combat between the Archmagos and the Terminators, love to kill the Warlord, but he's just so damn tough, I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately. So, striking initiative 1, so simultaneous. I've got 2 Terminators left with Power Fists, so hitting on 4s. All hit, which is nice, and I am wounding on 2 still because of strength 8, which is 4 wounds.
So 4 free-ups on the invuns, and then I have my 5 at Feel No Pains after that. So 1 Feel No Pain, so he takes 1 wound.
Again.
My attacks back, so you've got the 3 Parallax attacks, hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s again. 1 hit, no wounds. Machinator attacks, hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s. 2, and that is 1 AP2.
So straight through to the 3-up Storm Shield. Another one dead.
That
amazing.
Is a combat. Mechanicum of turn 3. I've done my movement phase. All I've managed to do is just move my Castellax as close as I can to that Astropath, and hopefully try and get some shots in, and maybe even a charge. If I can get a charge in on those heavy flamers, I'll be happy, because I can kind of block the Astropath from getting taken. There's not much else I can do really, apart from try and win some combats. It's just trying to tank the 2+ saves on Terminators and Artificer armor. So hopefully, if I can push through, get in combat, wipe the flamers, we'll see. Start the turn 3 shooting. I have done my Cyberphagy test and just healed a wound back off my Castellax, so they're both at full health again now. The Castellax shooting, the Flamers managed to take off one of the heavy Flamer guys, but the Multi-Melt was bounced, rolling a 1 to hit on one and then a 1-2 wound on the other. Hopefully I can now get a charge in though, because I've not killed too many. Mechanicum turn 3 assault. The Castellax have declared a charge against the heavy flamers. Nick rolled really well on his wall of flame, so now he's going to make his attacks and try and do some damage to my Castellax. He is wounding on 6s, but he has shred, and the ones that do wound on the 6 are cold in the void, so they're rending.
So I managed to get 8 hits, which is incredibly fortunate. So nothing.
No, 1.
Oh, sorry, 1, yeah. And then shred. Just 2.
Just 2. So I have 2 5-ups and vulnerables. So he takes 1 wound.
Well, every little helps.
So let's see if I can get into the combat. So it's a 7-inch charge. And that is 8 inches, so I'm in.
Damn it.
The Castellax have gone in. I've issued a challenge, and because of Nick's right of war, the Imperial Fists have to accept if they have a character. Doesn't make much difference, but it's just a bit fluffy for both of us. So the Hammer of Wrath's bounced. They didn't do anything. So we have Nick's attacks first at initiative 4.
Okay, so the Sergeant attacking in the challenge. He's hitting on weapon skill. Are you 4?
I'm weapon skill 3.
Weapon skill 3. So I'm hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s because I have challenge with Imperial Fists. No, so 1 hit. Strength 4. Doesn't wound.
Doesn't wound.
And then I've got 3 normal guys, also hitting on 3s. What's the majority weapon skill?
Weapon skill 3.
So yeah, hitting on 3s. So it's 2 hits. Majority toughness though is 7. So no wounds. No
wounds. So I get my attacks back. So I have 10 attacks from the Castellax. So that is 10 attacks. I am hitting on 4s and wounding on 2s. Oh, it's not bad. It's not good, but it's not bad. So that's 3 hit.
I'm happy.
And that is 2 go down.
So just 2 dead.
And then I have my Magos to attack back. So he has his 4 attacks on the charge. And he is hitting on 4s and wounding on 2s. So that is 3 hit. And that is 3 dead.
That's everyone wiped out.
Nice result for me, but we'll see.
Inevitable, I think.
Inevitable. Robot consolidation. 5. Not bad. I can get in the way of those breaches now and stop them from getting into that objective. Phalanx assault against the Tat Marines and the Delegatus. I managed to kill the Sergeant off with the Artificer armor just by throwing attacks at him. I took a wound as well, so it's a drawn combat, but slowly just grinding away at them, trying to chip off of them until I can get them out of the way and then get those Phalanx back into the fight with the main battle. The combat with the Magos against the final Terminator. I have my 3 Power Axe attacks hitting on 3s and then wounding on 3s again. So 1. And then a hit. I also have Master Crafted, so I'll just quickly reroll that. So that's 9. So it's just the 1 AP2.
So it's 3.
So it's passed. And then the Machinator array. Both hits. Reroll for shred. Both 2 more.
2 more 3-ups. He survives on the double 6.
Thanking it.
He loves it. Absolutely loves it. I'm still alive. So 2 attacks back. It's at initiative 1 still, so at the same time. Hitting on 4s. 1 hit. That's a wound.
So a 3-up. He's fine.
Can't defeat that armor.
Another turn. End of the phase. Rolled for my It Will Not Die for the Abeyant and took off that and then healed that wound from the last round of combat beforehand.
Imperial Fist turn 4. Not a lot going on really. The breaches have shimmied round slightly, so to keep the number of shots onto the Castellax and sort of spread out a bit for Flamers. The Seekers, 1 moved in order to get line of sight onto the Castellax underneath the wings of the bomber. So it is a tight shot, but they can get rounds through, and they are supposed to be marksmen, so they should be all right. But no one else can move because everyone else is locked in combat. The Seeker Squad are firing at the Castellax underneath the bomber. They're firing their Scorpius rounds, which are Strength 5, AP2, Heavy 1, Shred. Now, because one's moved, he's snap firing, so he's hitting on 6 re-rolling 1s, the rest are hitting on 2 re-rolling 1s. So the one snap firing doesn't hit, and then the 4 normal ones, good job they're re-rolling 1s, brilliant. So I'll get 3 hits. Now, these are Strength 5 with Shred, so I'm still needing 6s to wound, but it's the Shred that's important. Oh, no. So that's 2 wounds, AP2.
So I just get my invulnerable save of 5+. So that is a Castellax down to 2 wounds.
Well, that is definitely better than the last lot of shooting. So the Breacher Squad are firing at the Castellax. We've got 12 bolt shots from bolt pistols and the bolters. They're hitting on 2s, needing 6s, but 6s are also rend. So that's what we're after. And then I've got 2 metal guns, which are rolling on the red dice. They're hitting on 3s, and then obviously followed by 2s. So that is all bar 1 hit, which is pretty damn good. The melter's actually wounding on 3s, not 2s, because it's a strength 8, toughness 7. Got 6s on the white dice. So I've got 3 rends and then 2 melter coming through.
So I'll roll all 5 of them together because, well,
it's exactly the same.
So 5 saves on a 5 up. So that is 1 Castellax gone and then 1 wound on the other one. So now we see if the Castellax explodes on a roll of a d6 on a 6. No, not quite.
Well, that's pretty damn good. I'm happy with that. Imperial Fist turn 4 assault phase. The Terminator is still locked up with the Magos, so I'm going first this time because it's my turn, but we're striking simultaneously. Hitting on 3s, or 4s even, sorry. 1 hit, and then wounding on 2s. Power Fist. That's 1 wound, AP2.
3 up invulnerable. Boom.
Yet again, nothing happens.
My attack's back. Power Axe first. 2 hits. 1 wound.
So that's 1 3 up invuln. It survives.
And then the Machinator array. 1 hits. Shred. 1 more.
Another 3 up invuln. He's still alive. This combat will go on forever.
This is ridiculous.
Imperial Fist turn 4 summary. Unfortunately, the tactical squad and my Delegatus were cut down by the Thalax in combat, well, sweeping advance, which is really disappointing because if I'd have tied them up for my turn, then Jamie wouldn't have been able to do anything with them, and they'd have been essentially out of the game onwards. But now they can move off and into the combat. Other than that, I've got one. There's only 1 Castellax left, which is better than it was certainly, and my Terminator remaining over the other side, locked up with the Magos, which they'll be locked up forever it seems. So overall, I'm alive, but not in a particularly good position, I don't think.
Mechanicum turn 4. Movement phase, all I've done is separate my Magos Dominus off from my Castellax. So when I charge, I only get overwatched once, just in case one goes or the other goes. The Thalax, after their consolidation move, have just moved that a little bit closer, trying to get towards the objective so they can kind of grab it and get hold of that astropath. But hopefully the jetpack movers will do that for me after the shooting phase. Mechanicum turn 4 shooting phase. I basically tried to throw everything I had at the Breacher Squad to try and get rid of them before I charge. I had 2 units of Thalax put in their lightning guns, the ones that could shoot, and a Phasma Fusel into it. That killed 1, and then the Castellax putting his flamers into it killed another 1 as well. So I managed to knock off 2 from just sheer weight of firepower. Mechanicum turn 4 assault. I obviously detached the Magos and charged him in first, get a better save. They failed their reactionary fire test and managed to not score any wounds on Overwatch. The Magos went in, and then so did the Castellax, and managed to kill an Imperial Fist using Hammer of Wrath.
So the Sergeant has accepted the challenge against the Magos. But striking at initiative step 4, we've got the 4 Marines and the Apothecary. So they're hitting the Castellax on 3s. 5 attacks. Yes, 6 attacks. So that's 5 hits and 6 is to wound. There's no wounds.
Castellax attacks back with the next initiative step. So he's initiative step of 3. So he has his 3 attacks. Normally he'd have 5, but because of the defensive shields, it knocks that off. So that's 2 hits. And they are wounding on 2s. 3s because of his Stone Gauntlet. So that is 1 AP 2.
So 5 up invuln for the boarding shield. It's fine. Loves it.
Next step, the Magus will go. The same initiative step, but the Magus will go because it's my turn. So he has his 3 attacks for the axe and close combat weapon. So that is 2 hits. And it is 3s to wound. No, it's not. It is 4s to wound. So 2 AP2s.
2 AP2s. So 5 up invuln. That makes 1. And then 5 up feel no pain. No, so the sergeant does die. But he does strike.
He still gets his attacks.
Because he's fighting.
We'll do the do you want to do yours and then the Machinate Ray?
Do the Machinate Ray first.
So Machinate Ray goes in as well. No hits.
Okay, so the sergeant strikes back as he dies. 2 attacks. Power Fist. 1 hit. No, he doesn't hit because he's...
You do hit. Upper skill 3. So
of course.
You hit, yeah.
So that does wound because he's strength 8.
So I have a 4 up invuln. Saved.
So I've lost the combat by 1 wound. The Apothecary is leadership 8, so I need to roll 7 or less. Otherwise, I have got a Vexilla in there still though, so they're fine.
They're fine. They're
locked up.
Last combat for the turn, we've got the Archmagos against the Lone Terminator standing his ground. So they're both going initiative step 1, but because it's my turn, we'll show mine first. The Power Axe goes in first, so it is 3s to hit, and then it is 3s to wound. So that is 2. I've got Mastercrafted, so that is 3 hits, and then it is 2. Is what strength toughness are you now?
Toughness 4.
So it is 2s to wound.
So that's 3 3-ups. Doesn't bode well.
Oh,
he finally dies.
Finally, but he did a good job.
I do get to attack back though as I'm dying. So 2 attacks hitting on 4s. Both hit. Is this the time? Wounding on 2s. 2 wounds.
2 wounds. So I've got my 3 up. See if I can get it. So he takes 2 wounds.
Finally.
End of the turn. I have my It Will Not Die for the Abeyant. So 1 dice, try and bring back a wound. Boom.
Imperial Fist, turn 5, movement and shooting. I haven't moved because I've got 1 squad firing heavy shots, so no point moving them. Breach squad's locked in combat. So straight onto the shooting phase. The Seekers are going to fire at the Magos. They've got line of sight and they're well within range. So I've got 5 shots hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s. Sorry, ballistic skill 6. So that I need to roll a 6 to hit with that one. No, so 4 hits. They don't have preferred enemy because it's not the Castellax. Strength 5 with shred, your toughness
6.
Toughness 6, so it's 5s with a reroll. So that's 2, and then reroll. So that's 3 wounds, and these are AP2.
So I have 3 free up invulnerable saves.
Makes them all.
Makes them all.
Bugger. Imperial Fist assault phase, the ongoing combat with the breaches against the Castellax and the Dominus. The Apothecary unfortunately has to challenge the Magos. Not something I really want to do, but as an Imperial Fist I have to. The 4 breaches though will put their attacks into the Castellax. I'm hitting on 3s and then needing 6s to wound. So 3s followed by 6s, that's all hit. I could really do with a lot of 6s now.
1 6.
I've got 1 6. So that's 1 3 up.
1 free up armor save. Passed.
And then the Apothecary will strike the Dominus, because I strike at initiative 4. So that's 2 attacks, 1 attack base, plus 1 for extra weapon. Hitting on 3s. Re-rolling 1s in challenges. So that's 2 hits. Wounding on 4s, no wounds.
Castellax will strike next at initiative 3. So he's got his 3 attacks. 2 hits out of 3. And then it is 2s to wound.
It's only 1 hit.
Oh yeah, bugger. So it's only 1 hit, sorry. So it is 1 2 up to wound. So that is a 2. So that is 1 AP2.
So 5 up invuln on the breach shields. That failed, and then 5 up feel no pain. No, so one breacher dies.
Then the Magos will take his attacks. So he's got his 3 power axe attacks. So no hits. And then the Machinator array. Twin linked, sorry. One of them was twin linked. No, still no.
Mastercrafted.
Mastercrafted, sorry. Yeah, I wish. And then the Machinator array, 2 dice. 1 hit. Nothing. Oh, shred, sorry. So I've got shred. So that is nothing still.
Still nothing.
Still nothing.
I survive.
That was a very surprising combat.
Imperial Fists turn 5 overview. Well, I'm quite surprised the Breacher squad's still alive, to be honest. I thought I was going to lose them just from sweeping advances last time. Seekers didn't really do anything, but I'm not in a very good position, but hopefully I just survive long enough I don't get tabled.
Mechanicum turn 5, potential last turn of the game. I've moved the Phalanx forward to secure the objective, the little astropath. I've got the Cyber Skulls, Cyber Inoculus going with them as well, and the other squad's just kind of moving forward to put some fire down on those Seekers. The Archmagos Dominus, the Archmagos Reductor, sorry, has moved forward, so he's going to try and smash into the back of those breaches, give them a nasty surprise, and try and finish them off. Mechanicum turn 5 shooting phase. So I'm using the Cyber Inocularis to put a +1 ballistic skill using the dejink sight from the Warlord onto that unit. So I've got 1 lightning gun that can see and is in range, and then 1 plasma phase fusel. So I'll do the lightning gun first. So it puts him up to ballistic skill 5. Hits, luckily. And then it is 2 to wound with shred, but I also get rends on 5s and 6s because of the cold and the void. Nothing. Shred. So I get my shred, which is 4, so that's 1 normal wound.
So 1 normal armor save, 3 up. He saves it.
Saves it. And then the plasma phase fusel, 3 shots. So they are 2 hits, and then they are 2s to wound with cold and the void. So one of them is AP2 now, but it doesn't really matter, to be honest. So 2 saves. Because of the Mechanicums, the Phalanx's special abilities for their targeting on the Phalanx, they don't allow covers. Well, they have -2 to covers, so there's no cover safe for the Seekers from the plasma phase fusel. 2 go down from the plasma. So the next squad is firing its plasma phase fusel because it's the only one that's in range. So this one is ballistic skill 4, so 3 shots. So that is 2 hits, 2s to wounds. So that is 2 AP3s. So that is 2 more go down because they don't get the cover saves.
So I've got a leadership test to make on the Seekers. The Sergeant left, so leadership 8. They fail, so he is running a massive 3 inches. And I'm running towards you because that's my board edge.
Mechanicum turn 5 assault phase. The Archmagos Reductor is charged into the back of the squad of breaches, and now they will go first at initiative 4.
So I've got 4 attacks from the breaches. I'm going to put them against the Castellax. So hitting on 3s, so that's 3 hits. Wounding on 6s, 1 wound.
So 1 3-up save. So he loses another wound.
Yay! Little things. And then the Apothecary attacks in the challenge, because it's still locked up. Hitting on 3s, so that's 2 hits, but I'm wounding on 5s. No wounds.
Castellax goes next with his 3 attacks at initiative 3. 4 to hit. 2 hits, AP2. So that is 1 more.
So that's 1 5-up in run. No, and then feel no pain because the Apothecary's still alive. He's
still alive. And then the Magos in the challenge will go next because he's got his power axe, and I'll do the Machinator array. So the 2 of those hit. Mastercrafted. Nope, doesn't hit. And then it is 2s. So that is 2 AP2s.
So I can't tank them on because Artificer armor. So I've just got 2 feel no pains. So he is dead, but no wounds spill over.
Then the Machinator array will go, and that will spill over into normal combat. So that's 2 attacks. So that is 1 hit. Shred. It's still a wound. So it's another AP2.
So 5-up in run. No, so another 1 dies.
And then the Archmagos Reductor has his 3 attacks. So 2 hits, Mastercrafted. Nope, still nothing. And then 2s to wounds. So that's another one.
5-up in run. No, another 1 dead.
And then the Machinator array from him as well. So 1 hits, which is weapon skill 5. And then it's another wound.
So that is another one dead. One left. So I've lost the combat by 3. I've got a Vexilla left. So leadership 8 is now down to 5. So need 5 with a reroll. I failed with the reroll. He passes. He survives. Never give up.
Gentlemen, that is the end of turn 5.
It is.
Is it fair to say that the Imperial Fists have got a bit of a kick in, haven't they?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, they're pretty screwed.
It was just the reserves and the missed opportunities.
Yeah, and the Terminator's just not doing anything.
There's not much they could do, really. The first turn, if they'd have hit him hard, they could have done it, but it was just the first turn saves.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're into turn 5. Nick, do you want another turn?
Not really.
No, because if you have another turn, you have potential of being wiped, haven't you?
Yeah.
But if the turn ends now, then...
At least I'm not tabled, which is one thing. So...
Okay, so we need a 4-up for turn 6. Let's have a look.
No.
Game ends. Gents, let's go out the front.
I didn't die.
You didn't die.
Right, we're back. Wow, what a bloodfest. Jamie, you're a butcher.
Yeah, it was mostly your reserves, to be honest. If you'd have had the troops in there to hit me at one time, I wouldn't have been able to react and then move to different things. Because the Castellax could just deal with something and then move on.
Yeah.
The same with the units I had, they could deal with something, overpower it, and then...
I think I should let you go first.
I agree.
I think you should have done as well.
Yeah.
I'd have just sat in the room and just... Yeah.
I could have picked then where I was going, avoided that bloody Magos with his 3-up invuln.
Yeah, it was pretty mean.
Toughness 6 and however many wounds.
But you were so unlucky with that whole Terminator squad not to do the major.
That was what, 1 wound a turn, and then you got it back every turn.
The first turn, you literally, I think you managed to wound him about 9 or something times.
Yeah.
And then every single one bounced off the 3-up invuln.
Yeah, that was a killer way.
Yeah, literally just bounced off the 3-up.
Yeah.
Final scores were 10 points to Jamie and his Mechanicum, and only 2 to Nick and the Imperial Fists, unfortunately. So it was a bit of a whitewash. My thoughts on the game: I think deployment was a bit of a sticky point for you. I do agree with you. You should have let Jamie go first. You could have, if you'd got more shots off on those Castellax, you probably would have whittled them down. So you had a good couple of turns on them, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Seekers are worth it. Not in zones.
Okay.
I don't think
another unit of breaches would have made a lot of difference.
I would probably have been better dropping the tacticals, dropping the Seekers, and putting in some Phalanx Warders.
Okay.
Because I've played one game with them against Tonka.
Yep.
And did loads of damage. They did really, really well. Held them up for ages. Far better than the Seekers firepower that the Seekers put out. Anyway.
Again, with the Terminators, I did get one thing wrong because I've been using Cyberneticalist all the time. On one of them, I was doing one of the turns I did a Feel No Pain, and I don't get it on the Reductor. The Reductors don't get it. But it was 1 wound, and then it will not die. Got it back anyway, because I failed to Feel No Pain.
Anyway.
I failed to Feel No Pain anyway, so it was a bit. But we did realise partway through, and because I'm not used to running it, it's a new list for me. I just kind of had to go. Oh God!
So you brought back some models. Nick, we'll start with you. You brought back your heavy flamer squad.
Yeah, they did their job. They turned up.
Did great.
Burnt the Myrmidons. I don't know how many points the squad of Myrmidons are, but
200 points
with the weapons. I mean, it's like 230 something.
Yeah,
so 230 points for a very relatively cheap squad.
If they'd have got another turn of shooting off, or another turn every turn, they can probably wipe a squad. Whatever I've got, Phalanx, they could probably smash a Castellax a turn, or the Phalanx, they would have eaten the Phalanx.
Yeah, they did quite well though.
Yeah.
Jamie, you've brought back a Dominus, is that right? Or rather, a Magos.
The Magos Dominus is just. I put them with the Castellax are more of they do a lot of damage, but against breaches and stuff like that with Nick, I just can't. They don't get the rage, they don't get the 2 attacks. But with him in the unit, because you have to challenge, but normally I challenge anyway, because if someone's got a power fist like a sergeant, then they normally eat into them. They normally stop them from killing my Castellax.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. They did really. A couple of wounds back on the Castellax as well.
Yeah, they're just an army buffer.
Yeah, they're really, really great. Well, gents, I think it was a great game. Such a fantastic visual board to play on as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It was really good, and it was Nick's bomber that was in the centre of the.
Stunning.
So it was really fantastic to have that, and a lot of the terrain that you saw, the Armageddon Shadow War stuff, that was painted by Liam at Phoenix Commission. So thanks, Liam, for painting that for us. It looks spectacular on camera.
Absolutely.
So really enjoyed playing on that. I'm a bit sad that's the end of your campaign, but Nick, we might get you back for some more Zone.
Yeah, potentially. I've got about 2.5k in total, so we could have a really big Zones game with someone.
Nice. And Jamie, you've got a reasonable level of points, including a knight, haven't you?
I've got about 3.5k Mechanicum.
Great.
I'm also doing a Militai and some Solar as well.
Okay.
So a little bit of stuff like that.
So we've got plenty of chance for you to come back for a game outside of Zone Mortalis, a bigger game.
I might have also bought some Black Shield as well.
Oh, okay. Right. So more stuff to come, maybe. We'll see. Good stuff. Now, more photos will be available on the 30k channel Facebook page of this game. There are some fantastic photos with a great board and everything else that we've got for you. Jamie, if we want to follow you on Instagram, where can we go to?
It's Get Some Marines 1, which will pop up on the bottom of the screen.
Fantastic. And Nick?
Krieger 40k.
Brilliant. And as Jamie said, both of those will pop up on the bottom for you guys to pause, record, and go follow those guys. So please check them out. You can follow the 30k channel on Facebook and Instagram. Please go to the photos. Please leave a comment. We'd love to hear what you've got to say. This video has probably gone out now via a different medium because YouTube has changed their policy, and so hopefully this has gone out through the new website. So thank you so much for finding your way to the website and supporting the channel. It's, I've said this many times before, I cannot do this without subscribers. So thank you so much for your support. Gents, amazing job. Awesome.
Thank you.
And we will see you guys back very soon, and we'll see you again in the next one. Thanks.